Should be able to line all that up. But yeah, this thing's crazy. Yeah, my mom got me this for Christmas or whatever. But
Nice.
unlike any other candle I've kind of smelled before, it smells interesting. Like when I first opened it up, I was like, it's kind of like laundry, like clean laundry.
Why does it say the humidor?
I think that's just what it's called, like that type or something. Yeah.
Oh, that's like the name of the smell.
Yeah, so it's like Steadfast
Oh.
Studios. Apparently, the guy who makes it is like he kind of looks like a lumberjack. Like
He picked a really good color for like
right.
this metal.
It's like he was like a big burly guy,
It's
like
green.
big beard and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
He makes all his own. Makes all his own stuff. So he must have like
Candles are pretty easy to make.
I think I don't know if he has his own bees for like the wax or something, but I don't know.
Oh yeah, I mean, like even our business, we sell candles too. You know, so like we make pottery, but like
Whoa.
we'll sell that was cool. But like we'll sell candles, and like Mark he'll like melt different candle waxes, and like you just like can make candles pretty easily, pour your own, you know, and sell them.
Right.
So I feel like it's a good business.
This thing was burning like crazy.
I feel like it's a good business for people to get into on their own. It's pretty easy to like get going, I think.
Right.
And there's so many different ways to do candles, like different smells and stuff.
Yeah. Do you know what goes? How do you? I guess they did probably just have like an ingredient list for all the scents and stuff.
You basically just
and it's
melt
just like
it
a
all.
recipe.
You basically just melt all your ingredients together, and then you
Right.
put like your wicks in.
Mm-hmm.
You can just dangle wicks with like a thing that goes across the top, and you can make different smells and stuff. But then your ingredients would just be like making a cake, you know?
Right.
Like it's just different ways to put ingredients together to make it. So
Yeah. It's
what
really
you
cool.
use is kind of in your practice makes you stand apart from your business.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, like that. I mean, I don't know what type of ingredients he used for that, but it's nuts. It's gnarly.
It said soy.
Oh, sorry.
I'm not sure how they use soy, but
Vanilla too.
like premium soy wax, right? Is that what it says?
Well, tobacco, oud, and vanilla.
But that's like the smell, and then I think what it's made out of is soy wax.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know how you make soy wax,
Right.
but probably
Yeah, it's
pretty
interesting.
easy. Didn't know soy had wax.
Soybeans, like soy,
I guess they're kind of waxy
probably just like
when they're like
refine them down like fucking crazy, you know?
fresh.
Press
Yeah.
them.
I wonder if it's a byproduct of the other ways we use soy, or if you have to use soy to make soy wax specifically, and then you have wax.
It's probably
as
just a
waste.
combination of,
You know what I'm saying?
fucking-
Like,
yeah.
is it using waste from what they use soybeans for, or is it using soybeans and then creating waste that needs to be used for a different product?
Yeah, dude.
I don't know.
It gets me thinking about that show Rotten
Yeah,
on
kind of that,
Netflix or whatever.
kind of that train of thought. Yeah.
Dude, yeah, I've been getting into that stuff like crazy because, yeah, it's all about, like, the supply chain of things and, like, just the crazy fucking, like, wild things that go on with people and greed and, like, all this crazy stuff and just, like, stuff you wouldn't even imagine. And, yeah, like,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, that reminds me of, like, the honey episode with the bees and stuff, you know, and
Yeah.
the bee farmers.
Yeah, I
and
missed
stuff
like
like that.
half of that episode because I was cooking.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I was,
it's
like,
in
in and
that.
out.
I feel like that one was probably one of the most like
Was
crazy
it craziest?
ones. Yeah, well, it was one of the craziest.
I gotta rewatch it then because I feel.
And then
like
there
I
was one
bounced
on
through it.
then there was one on like edibles,
I didn't
which
see that
which is
one.
which is also just
A good one.
nuts. Yeah,
Like
Basically,
weed
like-
edibles or like
yeah,
edibles.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, like gummies and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
What's fucked up with that?
Basically, yeah, this is like a series on Netflix called Rotten. And basically, yeah, this episode, it was called, oh, damn. It was a really funny kind of title to it, but yeah, it was all about edibles and basically how the industry is pretty messed up for the legal states that,
For edibles,
for
as a separate thing than weed, or as
Right.
weed altogether?
I'm trying to remember now, just a separate thing from the actual plant. Like they took the edible, just focused on that and the supply chain of that. Sorry, Luna.
Yeah.
My cat's right here, folks.
You probably saw her.
Yeah. But yeah, it was like the whole supply chain of that, and it's pretty much like completely corporatized, and
It has
the
to be.
regulations behind it basically don't allow for like small time business owners to kind of like get a leg up and like get part of the market share. It's kind of just being
Just like overran by Big Corp.
yeah, I mean, it's super in depth. I can't even begin to like describe all, because there's a bunch of legal stuff with it, of course. You know, so it goes into all the legalities behind it, and kind of the really sketchy inner kind of workings of like federal government, state government, local government, in terms of like the edibles and how they're made and all that.
Does that affect like quality, the price, the people making it?
I mean,
What's its devastating impact?
I mean, pretty much everything. I mean, because it's also been turned into like this really kind of unique commodity, like a unique food experience for people. So they also look at, like Amsterdam and all of that, and like kind of they interview like this one, basically like a Michelin star, I don't know, like incredibly specialized chef. Yeah, that was just dealing with like edibles and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've seen that on like the 2 Chainz Most Expensive, where there's like chefs that specifically like use that as like a high-end ingredient.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, and they kind of go into basically like pretty much all of the legalities and the crazy stuff that happens with the farms and stuff like that, but it is pretty nuts. It's a good ass show. Probably definitely see her on the cam. She's chilling. Yeah, that show gets you thinking, I swear to God. I mean, I feel like it's a good eye opener. I
showed my mom the coffee one and the, what do you call it? Chocolate one. I think it was chocolate coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Those are too crazy episodes.
Those are two. I don't know if I saw the coffee one. I'm not sure.
The coffee one's pretty good.
I saw the chocolate one.
Mm-hmm.
I never realized how messed up the supply chain of chocolate was.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like a whole country basically depends on it, and the country's just like, what is that noise?
It's the upstairs. Fan? No, the upstairs water, like the apartment above.
Like if they're taking a shower.
You're taking a shower to go to the bathroom using the.
See, I don't hear that ever.
Yeah,
I do hear him running around in the living room.
Isn't that crazy? The mic can pick it up, but yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like someone's taking a shower
on
me right now. Like, whoa.
It is what it is. That apartment living,
It's just the noises of life.
I feel like so many people. I mean, more people nowadays are living in apartments than homes. I feel like. I mean, I know a few.
I feel like they're more.
At least
could just be our age too.
Could be our age, but
it's definitely shifting into that, and it's because people can make more money off of it. The businesses, it's people are willing to pay it, and it's like, there's just more. I feel like definitely more apartments being built now than there are houses, at least in our like.
I think everywhere. I think everywhere too, because I mean, like,
you
just got to think about space too in the city and stuff, and like desirable places to live.
Yeah,
and
where you have high population areas,
right? And like more people are always gonna want to commute to those places and stuff like that. But yeah, I feel like, dude, I literally did fucking like my capstone shit on that.
I think it's messed up. But
like, just a change from, because, I mean,
I think
back in the day, like, sorry to interrupt, but back in the day, like, people, like, kids our age, I don't know, like, they were probably more willing to, there was, like, an exponential growth of, like, suburbs and, single-family homes and, just, like, suburbia. And so, like, the apartment building really wasn't, like, in play back back in the day, like back in the 50s, 60s.
Well, I think it has
a
to
little
do with
bit, but-
public like decision making on what we want to do. Like more kids nowadays are more like susceptible and prone to wanting to move around and not have to be locked into like a mortgage for 10 years, you know.
Yeah.
And so like
yeah.
that drives that
drives
decision
probably
within people's heads as a society is what drives us to have more people making apartments and not
Mhm.
houses. It could be in play, you know.
Mhm.
I don't know.
It's interesting though. I mean, like, it's gonna be interesting to see what the cities are like fucking in like 2050.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, you drive around, you know, even a city like Madison, which realistically isn't really that big.
It's not a city, really. I mean,
it's a big, it's decent for Wisconsin,
yeah,
but
we have limits on
right.
land that has already been used. We have laws about construction building heights
Mm-hmm.
that make a huge difference. So the city can't grow bigger than it is
Right.
on the isthmus because like the tallest building has to be the Capitol.
Mm-hmm.
Like you
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
grow like you build, and since all of the floor space has already been developed, they'd have to start destroying all those old houses, and there might even be laws against like destroying the old houses that are
Right.
in that area. So like the city's potential for growing has to be outwards, not upwards,
Right.
which limits because once you get out far enough,
Well,
all that land's owned by farmers and
right.
farms.
Well,
so it's like
what you do see though,
can't grow that much.
what I was gonna say that is like when you drive around this city, like it's kind of a prime example of these, you know, unused lots or old like vacant lots getting repurposed into like pretty dope fucking apartment buildings with
Yeah.
some like cool
Mm-hmm.
with like, and they're in decent spots, and you see them popping up damn near every summer.
I think
you
it's
know
gonna
what I mean?
happen. Yeah,
It's
eventually.
just it's which is kind of it's kind of it's nuts. It's
Yeah.
nuts to see
You
the
also
because
see-
it's fast. It's
well,
it's so fast. You know,
it's
with
funny.
the technology,
I
the
see
construction technology and shit.
I see in Madison specifically how funny it is. Like, they'll have a house. It's like a huge house, but it's an old house. And
Right.
it'll house like 40 people. But it's a big mansion.
Yeah, dude.
And there'll be like 40 people living in this mansion. It's like, and then there'll be a house right next to it. And they'll just be like, the walls that they share, right? There'll be like windows between bathrooms and rooms, so it's like you're almost living with
Damn
the
near,
house next to you.
right.
I remember seeing, and those are like some of the nice ones. I'm talking like some of the old ones where it's like a house for 7 people too,
Mhm.
where they're on like a back road and it's next to another house that's been refurbished for like 7 people, and maybe
Fucking
it's split
nuts.
up, but they're literally like the walls of their building are almost 6 feet apart, and like sometimes your bathroom window will be right next to someone else's window on the other house, and you guys are like, that happens a lot, which would be kind of a strange living experience. 'Cause,
Oh
like,
yeah, dude.
if you had more, if you were able to go up more
Mhm.
instead of having to jam everybody in these tight spaces, you could have some more privacy.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
It's within the city, because like when you're in Chicago and you're staying in like a big ass skyrise
Mhm.
hotel room, whatever, and you're like looking across and there's like other big ass windows, you can see in those too, but it's not like you're 6 feet apart from somebody and you're like right in
Right.
their face.
I mean, it's kind of I think it's just I mean, it's a consequence of the location too, because there's a lot of university, you know,
Yeah.
housing around here
Mhm.
too, and that plays a huge role in like
Mhm.
tight spacing and shit. And I think that also comes down to just like the sign of the times and shit. This is like big college town, you know. There's gonna be people that need to rent out, you know, whatever, just to like
right.
stay here for a little bit of
It's
time.
not like they have it,
But-
because those places are making money, good money, enough money to
Right.
keep them there without having to build more.
But granted, it is a bit fucked. When I mean, we can relate to that just with
Yeah.
the houses that we
Yeah, they were
fucking
shitty.
lived
They
in.
were cheap though.
But just on the spacing,
They were
just on the
cheap
spacing
and
side,
tight. They
like,
were tight. Yeah.
they're gonna.
This
I mean,
would
you
have been the
can't-
biggest bedroom in some
You
of
honestly,
our houses.
you can't blame like the landlords for being like, yeah, we're gonna do something with this place so we can, get a nice little chunk of change every month. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you'd think they would take better care of them.
Right. I mean, I can't argue with that.
But people
For
just
sure.
trash them.
Mm-hmm.
People don't trash nice apartments.
Well, it's
usually.
kids. It's kids. Let's be honest. Let's be real here.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of fucking kids. You know what I mean?
I mean, I guess.
We took good care of our apartment.
Yeah, see, you have to. I always look for the better in a situation, and you might get fucked, but you have to be better at selecting the people that want to live there. I feel like everyone's looking for houses, so it's like, why as a company would you just take the first people if they seem like they're gonna be trashy people and fuck your house up and make you, that's a bad investment. I feel like you could be more selective.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Those new. And I don't know if they do that, but like
the new
prices involved in that too. Like a rich
price
person
is
may not
always
be a
involved,
better
yeah.
person. They might be more trashy in trashier place than a person that comes from a poor family. But if you build a brand new house complex, most of the time they're like more affluent kids that live there that are probably getting paid from daddy, mommy.
True.
So.
At least in college towns and shit.
At least from my observation of Eau Claire, like specifically those houses on Chip, it was like those people seemed like they had just had more money, which I don't know if the landlords were like, hey, this is a brand new place, pay more because it's brand new and nice, or we're going to set our bar higher so that people that come from a more affluent family
well, it is a nicer apartment. I mean,
we'll pay for it and take care of it. But some places I would see were trashed by kids, and they're like, "This is a brand new place. Why are you trashing it?" But it's because they don't think it's theirs.
Mm-hmm.
It's not their home.
Those are nice apartments too.
Those are nice apartments.
They're damn near
did a
like
really
condos,
good job.
like damn near.
And I think they could do that with that entire neighborhood.
Well, they will,
and it will be successful.
They will.
I think then everybody will have a really nice place to live instead of having to live in shitty, moldy old dungeons like we do now.
I guarantee you, if
those
we
houses are 50 years old, more 80, 100. Some of them are like almost 200 years old that kids are living in. Like the place Ted lives is, I think, was built in like 1850 or something.
That place is cool though. I mean, that's like a historical home, so they got to keep it up. They got to they're probably required to keep that thing up.
Yeah, and it's nice seeing some of the old historical homes are kept up, but some aren't. And it's that's when it's kind of like, do you just tear it down and build something new? And I think that's what they're going to have to do with a lot of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Even like the apartment buildings. Like some of those kind of like probably built in the 80s, 90s, like apartment-esque buildings in that area that are just run down. That happened to the one that Ted had, the red one.
Right.
Freshman year. They just ripped it down and built apartment complexes.
Dude, I mean, I guarantee you if we were to fucking go and take a trip up to EC right now, we'd probably fucking see some new apartments.
You would.
Some brand new shits because they probably worked on it last fall.
They finished the high V, so that's cool. And I bet all those apartments out by where I lived are done, which were great apartments for the price.
Out where?
Out by Target.
Yeah, right. Yeah, those are nice.
Yeah, they did a really good job on them, and they were a great area to live because you were just kind of like out in the woods. But you were still right there.
That was a chill spot, bro. That was a chill spot.
It was cheap.
Yeah.
It was very cheap.
Right.
Our room was 2-bedroom, 2-bath, washer and dryer included, full kitchen, full living room, walk-in closets in both rooms.
It was a nice place.
Brand new, $1,100 a month. So, like, that's, I mean, that
$550 split. Yeah, that's nothing. Yeah.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
And it had to do with area. And, like, that's what
you're looking for sure.
That's what I feel like, that doesn't, that to me proves that could happen 2.5 hours away here in Madison. And, like, that would give the people in the community an extra $500 a month that they could spend on, capitalistic thinking, like, on going out with their friends and meeting people and buying stuff. And like right now the home companies are just taking all that profit that like people's wage is not like
it's so out of proportion.
Like we pay over, like, I don't know about you, but like a lot of people pay probably between 40 to 75% of their income monthly in some situations on the place that they're living. That doesn't give them enough money outside of that to eat or sort of provide for a family and stuff like that. So it's like, why are we giving so much of our effort and profit to just the place we live when we could be like giving that to our friends and community and neighbors,
putting it into society?
Back into the people around us rather
Right,
than
right.
just throwing it all at the people that built the house for us. It's
Well,
like,
I think it
seems seems unbalanced.
It's hard too because it's like when you kind of like take a step back and look at look at the big picture too. It's almost like it's a trickle down effect of like all of these things, and it's hard because like I'm an optimist naturally, and yeah, like I definitely like look for the good in people like immediately, like first. And so I want to think like it's not anyone's like real fault like that this shit is nuts right now.
Right.
That like rent is sky high, used cars are sky high, meat is sky high, gas is sky high.
We're trapped in
but
this
like wages aren't fucking, they haven't done shit since when? The 80s?
Yeah.
Like,
in Wisconsin, it's different everywhere, but it is wild to me to think that like our minimum wage legally is still $7.25. Now businesses aren't doing that.
Businesses can't do that.
They're not doing that.
Dude,
like,
they're fucked if they do that. Except for
couldn't
like
get employees if you did that.
Right,
but there has to be places out there that are like,
actually
they do have abundance of employees, and they probably are able to pay them $8-9 an hour, which is pretty low. I mean, I think I was making in college. I started out making like $9 an hour at Jimmy John's. It took a while to like double that, but
that was
but like that's what I started at, and that's because the business
2016
were allowed
2017
2018 yeah, which isn't that long ago.
Yeah, that's not that
four
long ago.
4 years ago.
That's
I was
not
making
long ago,
$8 an hour and happy to be doing it, and that's like because legally they're allowed to.
Yeah,
it's crazy,
so man.
It's real strange,
but yeah, it's
I don't think for the most part that's gone up a lot.
Yeah.
And see, that's where I think personally Quick Trip pays $15 an hour to their employees.
KT ballin'.
$2
KT is ballin'.
They give you they pay $17 an hour if you work on like a busy weekend or if you work on a weekend, which is like no other gas station's ever done that in Wisconsin, pay that much for their employees. And the people you see working at Quick Trips are genuinely decent people.
Facts.
They're nice. They work hard.
Facts.
Like you pay for your employees well enough that they can have somewhat of a living, and they're gonna want to come into work, and they're gonna do better for your business. And if you've noticed, Quick Trip has absolutely taken over the state of Wisconsin in the last 10 years. It's like
absolutely
like so. There's you can't just pretend like that doesn't have anything to do with it. Like you want I don't know, it's crazy.
Dude, yeah, they exploded, bro.
I love Quick Trip.
Oh, dude, shout out Quick Trip. Shout out Quick Trip.
I'm team Quick Trip have it always. Like,
oh my god, dude, I don't know. The one thing that I wish we could have had in EC when we were going to college was the KT right on Water Street.
Right when we leave,
right when we leave, they put
on water.
Not a gas station, a fucking Quick Trip store.
Yeah, it's not a gas station.
Like what?
You can't get.
I've never seen such a thing.
But it's like
a gas station starts out as a gas station, and they're so nice. They're so like they have everything. They have like hot food, and then whatever, and then they're just like, all right, but
you go into
we'll just put a store here.
You go into a Quick Trip, and it's like there's a kitchen in the back. And they make like there's people making like nice food. There's like you can get like chicken salad sandwiches. You can get like fried doubled or what do you call it, hard-boiled eggs. You can get all sorts of stuff. They'll make meals that you can take home, and like pizzas you can take home that are fresh pizzas, never frozen, but you can take them home, kind of like Papa Murphy's. And that's what's great about it. They've realized that like because they're a gas station, there's no reason they can't do all kinds of other things, like because they always can still just be a gas station, so they can experiment with like making different kinds of foods. Like, oh, do people want to buy soups in a bag that they can take home? We just make the soup for them, and they take it home and heat it up, and they can try that. And if people like it, people do like it because they do that now. But if they didn't, they would have been out nothing because they just had all that other business from selling gas and like just what they were to begin with. So they're like transitioning into this like local store for the state.
Dude,
And
yeah,
everyone
it's
knows
crazy,
about
man.
it. We talk about, I mean, people.
Do they have them in like Minnesota and Illinois,
No.
Michigan?
I mean, I even just like an hour south in Illinois, they don't have them. Minnesota, I don't think so. They might.
Damn.
They might like maybe
Maybe
a
a little
little on the
bit.
border, but I
Yeah.
don't think they do. And I think they're just focused on Wisconsin.
Dude, the brand is so strong here. It's
so
fucking
strong.
nuts.
And the social, like the people here
That
have
and
nothing
Culver's.
Yeah, the people here love it. Like we take pride in it. We have
Right.
no problem with them because they're not sus. They don't seem sus. I've never seen them do susness, and they
No.
just do a better job at like
They take care of you.
yeah,
You walk
catering
in there,
to the
it's
people.
nice. They got the.
They'll
It's
give
a
out
nice
free
floor,
samples of
nice
food.
clean floor.
It's clean.
It's
Yeah.
nicely lit.
You
They
have
have
to go to the-
everything labeled.
Okay.
Nice sections labeled. The cold bar.
Yeah.
With the nice subs and everything. The
Always
coffee,
a beer walk-in cooler.
beer walk-in cooler.
Like
yes.
liquor if you want liquor. they always got liquor because it's Quick Trip and we're in Wisconsin.
Absolutely.
The pastries, there's a whole coffee and donut like cave.
Oh my
It's like,
God, yeah.
All it is coffee, donuts, cookies, pastries, like cake.
And then a hot bar, soups, all that shit. They got the fucking the little
Roller
things on the
dogs,
rolls.
self-serve. Yeah,
Self-serve, everything.
but it's like always
It's
nice old
fucking
ladies
nuts.
bringing out the food. It's like
Right.
it's a strange thing, but here's the thing: like you're driving down the highway and you have to shit really bad or pee. Like, where are you gonna go? You're gonna go into the next bathroom that's possible, or the next gas station that's possible. And if there's a Quick Trip in amongst the 3 or 4 gas stations that are there, you're going to a Quick Trip.
Facts. Here's the thing too.
They're clean.
Every
Or-
time I'm on the road back to La Crosse, if I need to take a piss, first thing I put in my GPS is Quick Trip.
Yeah.
So like, there's
Yeah.
no other gas station.
that you want to be at.
Like, I'm not gonna put in Sitco. I'm not gonna put in.
BP,
7-Eleven.
See, you start
I'm not
forgetting.
gonna put
even,
in.
like,
Yeah, I don't even know because all I go to is Quick Trip.
Yeah.
For God's sakes, they literally, the Quick Trip down on Monona Drive.
Yep.
That was like it was like a
Mile and a half.
stop and go. It was like a stop and go over last summer.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was brand new. So
And then
there's
they were just like,
So for people who don't know what we're talking about, we live on Lake Monona.
so wait, should we dox ourselves? We can't dox our location.
No, you're fine. We live on Lake Monona in Madison, and basically, if you drive down
Yeah.
the road right by our place, like 2 miles
Mhm.
to the highway, there's a gas station. That's Quick Trip. There's
Quick
a Quick Trip
Trip.
on the corner. And
Brand new,
well, no,
within a year.
No, so there was like you'll get what I'm saying.
And then there's
There
another
was
one.
a gas station. There was a Quick Trip there for a while, and that was like 2 miles down the road. And they put a brand new one like a mile closer. It's like
down on the corner
there
there.
really wasn't a need for that business to make a decision to put a brand new one a mile away from one that was already doing good business. But they did because they can, because they just are fucking taking over. They're like,
Right.
we can
right.
put them wherever we want.
Wait, you're
And then-
talking about the one like down by the Beltline?
Yeah, because there's
Yeah,
two
right.
within two
That
2
one
mile
has,
drive.
dude. I went to that
It's
one.
like they're right next to
I
each
went to
other,
that one on
basically.
Saturday for a goddamn car wash.
Yeah,
They got the car wash there.
I always have car
Nice.
wash, which
Dude,
is
my
good.
car was bad.
We
my
get
car
really
was-
salty
Dude,
cars.
my car was terrible.
My car is bad, and I just washed it. Like,
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I watched
That
it.
sucks. I got like the Supreme car wash. It's
See-
like $11.
The best thing ever in Eau Claire. Not the best. There's a lot of best things about Eau Claire, but one of the best things, but like the year before I moved out, was I had since I was delivery driving all the time, I wanted my car to look nice on the road so that, I wasn't driving around a beater for a company. I wanted to be proud of what I was doing. So anyway, like,
For real?
yeah, you got to. You have
Yeah.
to take pride in what you do. Otherwise, you're never going to enjoy it. But
Absolutely.
anyway, like we
Preach.
had to, I wanted my car to be nice. So I got like the monthly subscription to a car wash, and it was like $21 or something like that a month.
Mm-hmm.
But I could get my car washed twice a day if I wanted. They had vacuums. My car was so clean, and I loved it. Like if it looked a little dirty and I had an extra like 5 minutes, I could just pull in. It was that big green car wash on Claremont going down the hill.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they like
That
you
one
just-
was popping all
Yeah,
the time.
yeah. You just dude.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'd be so busy, and sometimes there'd be no one there. But
Mhm.
they used to have these hoses So yeah, you could pull in and get your car washed. It looked beautiful every day if you wanted, which was nice for the outside of the car, especially in the winter because the salt. So like you could
Dude,
keep all that salt off your car, and it wasn't like you were paying an arm and a leg to do it every time. Like you
Right.
could, if you did it, I would do it like every day, every other day, and so it worked out and it was convenient. But they had like kind of a makeshift PVC pipe chain of vacuums in the back that were free that you could use. It was literally just like pretty good sized PVC pipe, a huge like suction air generator like in the building, and it just and then yeah, so it was like a big long line. You could park all your cars, and each station would have a trash
Yeah.
can. And it was kind of just slapped together, right?
Right.
And it had like tubes that would come off that with the hose that you could then vacuum your whole car, and it would just go into that tube and it all get sucked back to like this big vat of wherever it went.
Yeah.
Okay. They, at the time of me being like going there, rebuilt that entire thing, and now it's like this nice big complex on the back that's got like these big metal like structure with lights and like
Damn. So they were
really
probably
nice
rolling
lighting.
in the dough.
Oh yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, and they were able to put that back into their business, and then this new vacuum thing in the back was great. Like it had better suction, it was better built, you could see better, like the tubes like went up over so you could like go around your car easier with them, and it just was like a lot of innovation, and it was pretty cool. I loved going to that place to clean my car, so my car stayed super clean. But like
yeah.
I don't have that now, and my car is not clean. It is
Dude,
fucked.
yeah. I mean, it is what it is. Especially
Like
in
I
the
haven't
wintertime,
found the
like-
time to go do all that shit, but it was so convenient with this business that like it was good. And I got another story to tell you about that car wash thing. That's
What?
even crazier.
Another story about the car wash.
Yeah,
Damn, bro,
but-
you've had some experiences at this car wash, bro.
No. This is a different. I'm gonna tell you about a different car wash that's even better.
Okay,
and
okay.
It'll blow your mind a little bit. It was a great car wash.
Dude,
I
will
want
you-
to take a little juice before.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you bring a glass?
A little bit of apple juice.
Oh, you did bring a little. For anyone watching at home, this is Old Amsterdam gin.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Just a
Old-
wee bit.
Old Amsterdam.
Just a tad. Just a tad.
Like
Oh,
that?
God. That's yours, buddy.
That you want the same amount as mine?
No. A little bit. That's good. That's good. No, that's
All
good.
right, all right,
Okay.
that's good. I'll take a little bit more.
I'm going to sip that, folks.
No, we were taking shots.
That is not a...
I thought we were gonna.
Dear Lord.
All right,
Okay.
whatever.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers, boss.
We'll sip on it. Try to figure out the flavor profile. I taste something really sweet. Gin is really sweet to me. It's
Oh,
like,
my God.
It's like
Dude, taking that shit
floral.
straight. Oh, Jesus.
grapey, kind of like wine, like a white wine almost.
It is smooth. I mean, it's relatively smooth.
It's. I mean, I can only.
It's just hard. It's just
It's no potato vodka.
usually I'll put in a little bit of crayon or lemon, but it is
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah, ice is the best mixture.
Dude, yeah, but I used to do a fucking car wash with the
With
with like my fucking high school cross country team and shit.
Oh, you guys would do the car wash.
Just like raise fucking like
So you'd get
fucking
all
money and shit.
So, okay, pardon.
was
that.
funny,
I'm sure
dude.
the priests love that.
It was fun. It was
Little
fun.
high school boy set it up, washing his car.
No, it was geeked. It was
Okay.
it was fun. What was your fucking
so this
other
car,
story?
So this car wash, it's wild. It's in California. It's in Simi Valley, California. It's great. It's a great car wash. My parents loved going there. My dad kind of like would talk to and knew the owner, and like they were good people, but it was like this big ass car wash, and you would get like a monthly subscription. You could get different like tiers. And I think it was like the $30 or $40 one was legit. Like you would take your car there and
Every month, $30 or $40.
yeah, which I mean in California is really not. That's pretty much scaled to what $20
I mean,
is here.
You best be getting your car washed every 2 weeks or some shit.
No, so listen to this. They like you pull up and they like ask you what you want, and you just tell, and they'll have your information. But so like you just pull up whenever, any day. You can go twice a day if you want. Doesn't matter. You go up, and they ask you like what scent you want in your car, and usually we would get the jasmine. Like the jasmine was a good scent, and they'll put these like little scents underneath your carpets and stuff. But you like then pull up and get out of the car and go inside, and you can like watch your car go through like their car wash. It was like pretty dope watching your car. It was like
it's like the car wash in Breaking Bad.
Right. It was like a little gas station area, but they had like things that you could buy in bathrooms or whatever, and you could just like hang out in there if you wanted. But then you go through and you walk out back, and like as your car comes out of the wash, like your car doesn't get touched by an air cannon, right? Like a team of like 4 or 5 guys start like wiping this thing down with like microfiber rags, and they're like opening the doors and going through all of it, and then someone jumps in, drives it outside, and it's always sunny in California, and there'll be like then this lot of they'll be in this like they have this big lot, and there'll be like 30 or 40 guys out in this lot working on everyone's car, and so then you walk out and you just kind of sit and like you watch, and these like guys are drying every crevice and like they're getting in, and they're taking all the trash out and vacuuming everything and spraying the seats down and like spraying the windows down, and like they like it's literally hand cleaned by like these teams of people. It's not all guys and girls, but
right. Damn, that's crazy.
It's like there's probably close to 50 people working at this place or more every day
it's hand
on
done.
The staff. Like, it's like this, it's just this huge, like, and you get back in your car and you can just like, it's so well done.
Right.
Like, and it's fast because there's so many people doing it.
Right.
And it smells good.
Everyone
and
probably has a specific job.
They do a great job. Like, I don't know. It's a really interesting, cool business. And it's like, not just like it also, think about like the little bit of extra cost. You're getting more attention to detail and time put into your vehicle, but also you've paid some of the like salary for the team of people that work there. Like that place employs a lot of people, that like employs a lot of jobs.
That's what I immediately thought. It's like
to families that these people are able to like provide for their family, and it's like a really good business.
You're not pulling through an automated like whatever, like you're actually like seeing.
It's cool.
Yeah, you're seeing the people buff out your car and fucking put the work in, which is dope.
Always, like, a lot of times they're like just shooting the shit, and they always like honk your car and then jump in there like, hey, like nowhere to go, and I don't know. They'll give you a rag or two to take home too, like if you want to like to wipe anything else down.
That's dope.
Like, it's a well-oiled machine.
They just fucking put that thing into a full-on like full-on machine, full-on.
That's
like,
cool.
Yeah, full-on.
I was surprised.
Full-on set of people.
It would take a little longer than it would to go to a normal car wash, but
right.
It was worth it always.
Yeah.
Like it was cool.
Yeah. That is dope. That's a cool car wash story.
Yeah.
Where was that at?
It was in Simi Valley, California.
Okay, damn.
Yeah.
You think it's still there?
Yeah, I know it's still there. I'd be shocked.
It's probably like
unless COVID did something to fuck up like the people being there and like, you know, but otherwise they were the best car wash around, and people love washing their cars out there because people love cars out there. And that's a whole nother thing. Like the whole car industry is way bigger. People own a car for like a couple of years and then get a new car, and like there's so many automobiles out there because
you can always drive nice cars out there.
And people who have nice cars want their nice cars to be clean. That just makes sense. Right. So it's like
makes sense.
I don't know.
Yeah, and you can make like an event out of it too. Fucking just like taking the fam there.
Yeah, I used to that car wash in Eau Claire. I used to whenever like Miranda and Sunday and I were out, I'd try to take like Sunday through it because. Like as a dog going through it, she was always like, "What the fuck is
right?"
this?
Just tweaking the fuck.
Yeah,
tweaking the fuck out.
Yeah, well, it's cool too because like a dog's never gonna experience going through a car wash where there's like colorful suds blasting on the window and like big shower heads and like things swinging around.
Right.
Like, unless the human takes them with You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think that it's always like
It's probably like going
to
through a wormhole for them.
right. It's something crazy. They're like, "What the fuck is this?"
Right,
Like,
dude.
It's good exposure for dogs. Like,
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like fucking going through the gate in Stargate.
oh, I'd love to go through the gate. For
The wormhole gate.
For anyone that hasn't seen Stargate, the original movie, 1994,
Yeah, that
with
shit was
Kurt
crazy.
Russell, watch it.
That shit
But
was
then
crazy.
afterwards, you should try to get into the show. That's what we're doing now.
Trying
It's-
to, yeah. It's fucking.
It's pretty good.
It's nuts.
It's weird because the TV show has different actors as the main characters than the movie. But after watching the show for more hours than you watch the movie, you start to get used to those characters. So it's not as big of a deal.
Yeah.
Now, I wish Kurt Russell was the guy in the show because he's a beast.
Absolutely.
But that would have taken up so much of his time they couldn't have afforded it. As
The
a
movie
show.
was sick, bro.
The movie is
like
so good. Like,
the
it's
the
so
take
different.
the take on like fucking
The Egyptian origin
Egypt,
story.
yeah,
Mhm.
the pyramids, fucking all the
Yeah.
gods and stuff. It's
Yeah.
just nuts.
Yeah.
Nuts. I mean, that shit makes you think.
It's just a cool, just like take on it.
It's a
Yeah,
cool story,
fun.
for
It's just,
sure.
like,
Yeah, and you can dive deep into it too. Like
Yeah.
it, I think once you start, once you start just kind of like opening up your mind to the possibilities of what could be,
yeah,
then you can, it's just an idea like that of like what the pyramids could have been. Is just like that the possibility of that is just. And they took that fucking idea and ran with it.
Yeah.
It made 10 seasons out of it, like
Yeah.
20 episodes a season.
yeah. See, that's the thing.
That and Star Trek, bro.
That proves. I mean, you can make 10 seasons out of anything as long as you're able to tell a good enough story. And then I know Noah's not around to tell me that I'm bullshit, but storytelling's amazing. Then that's what makes
Dude,
us
yeah.
us. So
For real.
if you can tell a good story, it's gonna air for 10 seasons because people love that. It doesn't
Mhm.
even matter what the topic is. Could be you're captain of a starship. It could be a captain. You're the
Facts.
in this show. It's about like jumping from planet to planet through Stargate and discovering like civilizations that grew from enslaved humans. Like that's
Dude, yeah.
that's a weird topic,
Dude,
but if
fucking
you can
nuts.
tell a good story with that information as a baseline, then you're golden. Like
Right.
that just becomes the topic of a good story.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What about the one where the kids stumble into something and like aliens and shit are talking to them, and then it's like they're
Dude, even just like
what's the show called? It's huge.
wait, the kids fucking Stranger Things?
Stranger Things.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Really good storytelling
Fire.
on a wicked topic. That's like you just put the things together, boom. You can make
Good
it.
to
You
go.
just keep making it. Yeah, it's crazy.
Dude, yeah, even like I mean, I even loved like the story, like those classic like stories like The Goonies. Have you ever seen that movie?
It's been a long time. I think I saw it once when I was a kid.
Just like
Where they're like the crew and
classic
they just,
adventure
aren't they running
pirate
off through a
story.
cave
It's like a
or-
pirate story.
It's very imaginative.
Yeah.
For a child.
But like that movie, those types of movies, and like, I mean, that just like capture your imagination, and I think it's always like kind of that content that
Yeah.
it really like it picks at like a primal aspect of like human life
Mm-hmm.
that is like incredibly relatable to just being a
Yeah.
human, whether that just be like fantasizing about what could be in space, imagining like what the pyramids could have been, hypothesizing what it's at the bottom of the ocean, like
Isn't I
it
think
just
it's
all
funny.
of those real like core kind of questions that people wonder about from when they're a kid.
Why are we
What are pirate like? What were the
Why-
pirates like and shit?
Why are we more interested in going to I want to go to space.
Is that your phone, bro?
Was it? Yeah.
I think so.
Sorry.
There you go.
It might be dinged on or whatever. Oh, these pockets.
Yeah,
Okay, why are we I want to go to space. I love space. Space is awesome because we get
Mhm.
to look at it every day. But
that
like,
Mars question you asked me the other day was kind of, or like the wormhole question, like
what about it? Oh, like would you go through a wormhole?
right, just not knowing.
Yeah, I would.
That was cool.
Yeah.
That was cool. That was cool.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Sorry, what were you saying though?
Oh, I was just saying, like, but we're so focused on the exploration of space, and it's like we don't even know what the ocean like really holds.
Oh yeah.
And maybe
yeah.
we do, and they're just not sharing it. But like, we have this massive ocean on our planet, and we're like, we live here.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't explored it because we can't. But well, we can't go to space either. Like,
well, we send
but
like
we're still exploring it heavily. You know, like it's hard of a tackle.
the ocean.
Like, why'd we not choose to understand our own planet first?
Right. I think it's the amount of like resources that go into like studying those things, and also I think the ocean is like space.
It is.
There's so much of the ocean, and there's
more space than ocean.
Well, yeah, but like in comparison to what we can do now,
Yeah.
with like, because we can't send like 1 million drones down into. I mean, we could.
Why not?
But like, that's not going to happen.
Right. Instead, we'll send 1 million drones into space. But why'd we choose space?
Well,
are we just bored with our planet? Like,
I mean, I was gonna say, like, don't you ever see those videos of like new creatures, like down in the ocean that always pop up? Like literally new creatures are always found. Like,
here's a thought.
Literally every day. I don't know about every day, but probably every day, every week, every month, whatever.
Right, so there's a ton of species out in the ocean that we have no idea about. Well, what if one of those species has for some reason got something in their DNA or their like molecular structure that allows them to be resistant to pressure or something because they've lived in deep pressure forever on our planet. And we realize that through that exploration and then apply that technology or apply that knowledge into technology that allows our bodies as humans to relieve that pressure, allowing humans to be explorative of not only more of the ocean then, but also, oh, look at that. Like, we can go to space easier because we don't feel like, pressure from, like, the atmospheres or
whatever it may be.
So there's like exploration that could be done on our own planet that we are more capable of doing than in outer space.
Yeah, I agree.
And it could lead to advancement, probably would, in other fields. So it's like, I mean, just like what happened with the what is it? The MRI. The MRI is a machine that we use in our health field, and it was designed and stumbled upon the technology based on an astrophysicist looking at stars and trying to determine a way to like figure out if planets are orbiting them. And so like he figured out that science, which actually led to the advancement of the I keep wanting to say that, but the MRI machine in the health field. Yeah. So
some astrophysicist figured that out?
Right. And he wasn't even asking the question of like, how can I figure out how to look at like wavelengths of information and record it passing through a human body. He was looking at like, how can I look at and record information of wavelengths passing through an orbital object and use the sun as reference to receive that. So it's like that technology led to that technology and advancement in healthcare, which is, so I see this huge potential for us to go explore the ocean. And we might find stuff that helps us with other questions that we had, but like the ocean's right there. It's not going anywhere. Let's explore it. Like,
oh, 100%, dude. Yeah, I mean, it's fucking nuts when you think about it, because, I mean, it is totally alien, and I mean,
it's our origins.
I've wondered about that too for a long time as well, because what I've really like just kind of like considered is just like that life of just living in water.
Your whole life.
And kind of what that is. You know what I mean?
Well, and we kind of do that too.
Right.
I mean, them, you know. Like, we live in air, which is a kind of water.
Right.
It's a state of matter.
Right.
So
it's kind of like the same thing.
We're
it's
used
just
to
like
it.
a completely like,
I think that's how they feel too.
It's like a completely different path of evolution, which is like so fascinating because it's just like it's just like a heavy, dense universe, right? Like their universe is is liquid, right? It's thick.
Yeah.
It's like they're and like their bodies show that because they have to have like aerodynamics to push through it and move with currents like fish and all of the all sea creatures. Well, I mean not all, but I mean you can look at crustaceans are super cool.
Yeah.
Like and crabs and shit, like the stuff that lives.
They've adapted completely differently.
Completely
than, like, a
different. They're
fish.
kind of like snails and stuff like that.
Right.
But like, just specifically fish though are super cool.
But it's neat that they have their own,
It's a
like
completely different universe. I mean, it's totally a universe in itself,
Yeah.
living like on Earth.
well, and like the ocean has a biologically advanced form of a mammal.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
whales, dolphins.
Dolphins. Bro.
Dolphins are like, so they're like the pinnacle.
What do you think that is, bro?
mammal. I mean,
Like,
octopuses
what-
too. Like they're pretty. Are they octopuses?
Do you think? Do you think they have conscience?
Yes,
do you
I
think-
definitely think
You
that.
do.
I can't. There's nothing that can tell me that they don't. When you look at their,
Do you think they perceive themselves as themselves?
I think so. I mean, if you put a mirror in front of a dolphin, does it recognize itself? I don't know, but
maybe in a different way.
maybe in a
That
different way.
we can't
maybe
even begin to describe.
like just because they don't show a physical, like when you look in a mirror, do you like go like, oh, I'm seeing myself in a mirror? But no, you don't. You see yourself in a mirror, and in your mind, you're like, that's me. Like,
Right.
we don't know if that happens, or maybe they use some sort of sonic signal to like recognize themselves, right? Like we know that the dolphins and whales use like
Sonar.
sonar waves and like
Right.
wavelength to determine information
Isn't
and
that
pass
nuts?
information,
Isn't that
right?
nuts?
So
They emit pulses through the water.
so they can
that can
maybe
travel.
just feel.
Dude.
You could probably, this is purely speculation, but like I would imagine if a dolphin was swimming through the water, it could feel whether or not Paul Schmidt dolphin was swimming up on me or like Noah Terzic dolphin was swimming up. You know what I
For
mean?
sure. Yeah.
Like they might be able to feel like the difference in the heartbeat and like sound that the other dolphins make, and like don't tell me that that's not consciously aware thinking species, because like.
Dude, I'm pretty sure whales can like communicate halfway across the globe or some shit.
Yeah, they they can
the
hear
big,
like
the beluga
miles,
whales,
like hundreds of
like
miles.
the beluga whales or some shit, like the big ass ones.
Yeah, those
They
are
can
crazy.
That's like just emitting such a powerful
I've never-
force. Can you imagine communicating with your species halfway across the globe?
Yeah, it'd be wild.
It's like, I mean, it's like phone. It's like
well, and here's the
it's
thing:
like their phone.
what in
you know?
between what in between them intercepts that message or can? Or are they like encoded?
Right.
Like if I send a messages away like "Wah," like and it goes
What
hundreds of miles,
how do
what
you-
in between where I'm sending that in all directions?
and like
Like they're safe to do that?
well, and like how does it bounces? It probably bounces off like the sonar probably bounces off so many things in the water too, but
Yeah.
it's probably just so strong.
Cuts through it.
And the
Or it's an
whales like have
unintercepted wavelength.
such a they're so tuned in, to their. I mean, I can't even
I think
imagine,
it's-
dude. I can't even it's fucking nuts. To
I think
about.
it's sad that humans treat dolphins the way that they do, like because of that. Like we have a species that's probably the closest to our capability, if not more capable. And we decide that like we're just going to capture and kill them because we can, because we have 4 arms and legs and the ability to breathe in air, that we think we're like better than that species, but we just like trap them in coves and kill them.
It's
and, like,
absolutely fucking
It's
horrible.
like dolphin fin is a delicacy, just the top fin. Like they'll kill dolphins just for the top fin. It'd be like if a species that lived in space came down here and just would trap us in coves, kill us, and just take like our hand because they thought our hand was a delicacy, and then they just murdered us all, and then like left and sold our hands on trade. It's like
It's so fucked up to see that shit, bro.
that's basically what we do to dolphins, which is sad.
And fucking like
And it's culturally based. Like I don't
Right.
think a lot of Americans agree with that, and I'm speculating this, but
I would say so. I would say you're correct.
like in other cultures they just think that's okay, and it's weird. It's like
Well, we're so
respect this.
separated. It's sad
Yeah.
because we're so separated now. It is
We-
truly it's like a truly alien world, and I mean,
The
it's-
ocean is an alien world.
right.
It is,
It's
yeah,
like we're
yeah.
so separated from that life.
We
Like we
are.
I mean, I'm sure there's science out there that can give you a really good idea of what a fish what a fish life may be like based on just observation and scientific research, but it's like trying to, I don't know, it's like trying to put yourself in your dog's head and try and imagine like what your dog might be like feeling, but like there's no possible way you can do that.
Right.
There's no possible way you can ever like be a dolphin and be that intelligent and be that equipped in your environment to live and to sustain your species throughout time.
Yeah. I've like,
and it is fucked like that we can't. I mean that it continues, that it just continues this rabid fucking like attitude towards life at sea, life in the sea.
I feel like we just have no like. I think we like to just pretend that it's all so mundane, like we're just so much better than it.
Right.
So there's just no interest in it. Mm-hmm. Like.
The coral reefs
we just neglect half of our planet, 2/3 of our planet. We just neglect.
Right.
Why? Like just because it's hard to navigate and we're not good at doing that. Humans aren't made to be in the water. That's not what we're born on land. We're land mammals.
Right.
But like, there's still so much out there to explore, and I think that we could do it even from the air. We could use LiDAR. I think we should use LiDAR. I think it would take, X amount of time to use LiDAR scanner on a helicopter and or plane to scan, like, let's say 1,000 square yards of ocean floor. Okay, that's a number. How long does that take? How long would it take for us to build a fleet that can LiDAR scan every single inch of the entire ocean floor?
Wouldn't need to do that. What we would need... What would need to happen, I think, is satellites. I think we would need to have
high-powered satellites. We would need capable of doing that.
We would need to have surveying equipment that would be so powerful. Doesn't exist yet.
Well, it won't if we don't push towards it. That's the thing.
Right. And I think that that's the important. That's the key of like that topic is like
some kind of push towards it.
And I think, but even with just like. I mean, because with LiDAR, you'd be able to get elevation, really, really crystal clear, like elevation models and maybe some like, I don't know. I mean, we can only hypothesize about what future like scanners are going to be like and future like kind of. But
I just think some things take so much time to survey that like if you don't start, then you just inevitably push the day back where you're going to figure it all out by it's like.
Well, I mean, people are working on that shit.
Gotta start.
It's
That's
just
good.
like
I hope they have.
I mean, yeah, dude. There's. Not
gonna happen. Rome wasn't built in a day. Neither is this. Like.
Right. I mean.
But if it never starts,
I guarantee
it's never
you.
Gonna get there.
I mean, yeah. There's ocean conservationists out there like. That's like a specific. Field is like oceanography and like all that shit.
I want to know.
But
I want to know what forms of civilization are down there, what life is like.
It is it is under what's the word, it's like it's not, there's not as much resource going into that field as there could be. But dude, that's an interesting question for sure.
Hypothetically speaking, if we had other resources, I think people would do it, and I want that to happen.
Yeah, same. I mean, we're sending all these rockets into space.
Yeah. I think there'd be evidence of past civilizations down there that like we will find.
You think?
Kind of like we find shipwrecks,
right?
Or we find, old temples and shit and buried under the sand. Like I think the continents, the plate tectonics that happen on our planet push and shove our crusts around all the time, and I feel like there's definitely like ancient civilizations that probably hundreds of thousands of years, if not like 1 million or 2 million years ago, are probably buried under the ocean.
Well, get this, bro.
Like it just I feel like it has to make sense.
Get this. There was a right here in Madison, like in December, there was a dugout canoe that was found 30 feet in 30 feet of water in
Yeah.
Lake Mendota
Yeah.
by a archaeologist who wanted to just like
Dive.
go scuba diving for fun
In Monona. That's weird.
in Mendota.
Oh, Mendota.
Yeah,
Huh.
literally a dugout canoe from like it was like 1,200 years old or some shit. I don't fucking know. It was like really really old. I don't know about 1,200, maybe like
Could have been
200. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you got to imagine the native folk that were on this land before like cities were built.
But
This was a big lake.
30 feet of water. It's
Yeah.
not that deep even. That's not
Yeah.
even that deep.
It could have sank.
You know. But like, man, it was preserved like in really good condition and everything, and now it's sitting in like the historical society or something here.
Wow.
But I mean, that just goes to show that like we really have no idea, and that's just like a lake.
That's just right there.
That's just like a lake right here.
Yeah.
And that was like a really significant find.
Yeah.
you
I
know?
have to think like if
Dugout
any
canoe.
civilization had harnessed the material of like dense stone, granite,
Mhm.
like that kind of stuff,
Mhm.
or metal that was like a non-corrosive metal.
Mhm.
Like I feel like that could be somewhere on the bottom of the ocean, like a just even like a structure, like a road of dense stone or something, and we just would never know.
Do you think there was a
But it would open the gates.
Do you think there was a spacefaring civilization before what we know is current day humans?
Maybe. Yeah.
Do you think
Yeah.
it's possible?
I have a hard time ever believing that the pyramid was built using like something that didn't require manipulation of material. Like it wasn't like I could never understand
How humans could do it?
anything about like ropes and leverage, like to get those stones up there in that way. Like
The perfect geometry.
I think at some point we had to have the knowledge, or someone else came to us with a knowledge of moving material, like picking this cup up using like sound waves or, you know, electricity or gamma or something.
Mm-hmm.
Something was able to do to bypass the like gravity.
And also say, here, put it here,
Right.
perfectly aligned with the stars.
Well, just like even just put this block here in the right spot that
Right.
weighs thousands of tons. Like, you know,
Insane.
you have to be able to do that physically. And if you do it, and boom, there's this fucking huge pyramid. Okay, you did it. How'd you do it? The
Mhm.
way that we think about the way that they did it doesn't add up physically. Like the physics don't make sense. Like you can't like there's theories about like them using water to float stones up, but like you still have the problem of if you float
Yeah, I don't
stones
get
up
that.
with water, like you still have to move the stone and put it in the place. If I'm building things with Legos, I have to take the Lego and put it in the right spot.
Hmm.
You need to be able to control like hundreds or thousands of tons of stone to do that in a safe way that you're not going to crush someone. And like a guy got a bunch of people with ropes going, oh, a little to the left, a little to the right. Like that doesn't make sense.
No, yeah.
That we can't do that. That's why there's this big mystery about it.
Mhm.
And that's why I think that like if a civilization was able to do that, move material easily to the extent to whether they'd build a giant pyramid using that technique of moving material like with whatever possible way they did, why wouldn't they be able to fly around? You know,
Right. It could have been anything. I mean,
if you're able to move a rock with your mind to put it on a big pyramid, you're also able to move a rock underneath your feet and make you fly around. Like there's
It
no
could be- yeah,
it's
I mean-
control.
I think, yeah, it's like the ultimate.
So it could be.
It's the ultimate because it could be fucking like it could be a geolocator for a
Yeah.
fucking alien race. Be like,
Or it's like, hey, like this is how you know we're home, or you know
Right.
we've been here. Like
could have
what-
been a structure that was like
Yeah.
used million or billions and
I
billions
liked-
of years ago. Like could have been.
I liked the idea that I
Yeah.
heard from, I forget where it was on a YouTube channel a long time ago. The speculation of it being used as like an energy distributor of some kind, Like, it would take the partically charged and energized, like, material in the air, and the stone would, like, transfer that energy into, like, a wavelength that would go through the top and, like, disperse energy, kind of like a Tesla coil, like Tesla was working on, to, like, the surrounding area. And what was charging it was, like, the Nile that had ran past it and had, like, these little underwater systems that would create these, like, little water coves underneath the entire thing, and that was what was energizing, like,
Fucking
and
wild.
ionizing
It's a wild
the
theory.
material. And it kind of makes sense, because,
A
like,
little bit.
because, like, if
Maybe.
it was something to do with that, I mean, this thing doesn't have, like, rooms on the inside. It's just tunnels.
I mean,
It's a very industrial look.
It's supposed to be a coffin. I mean, it's supposed to be a tomb for the pharaohs,
I disagree.
right?
That's what they say.
That's what they say.
Right, but that doesn't make sense, does it?
Who the hell would want to spend like
Yeah.
1,000, 2,000, 10,000 fucking years building?
Well, they say it happened in like 60 or 40 or 60 years or whatever.
40 or 60?
That's what they say. Yeah, that's what experts say. But that's where you can't listen to what
40
the
or
experts
60?
Yeah, they
How is that
don't.
even
That's what they say. That's what I'm saying. There's this
Damn.
big story around it that
Didn't
everyone
some of the
believes,
Native
and
American
it's
like
just dumb.
Native American temples take like and
Like the Mayan
uh,
temples and stuff. Is that what you're talking about?
or like South American,
Yeah, like Mayan and Aztec and
those
Olmec
took like
and-
hundreds of years, right?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure those took like
those are
I want to
also
say
incredible
those
structures.
I want to say those took hundreds of years and just
I kind of abide by the theory with the Egyptian pyramids specifically, but those, I feel like those people may have made them.
no, those people for sure. I mean, those
Yeah,
were
they made them.
thousands and hundreds of thousands of people and citizens.
No, those are huge civilizations
that were building
Yeah.
like and literally roads.
That's really
roads
interesting culture.
stretching across.
Mhm. I've
you
been
know,
to Chichen
those
Itza and
Really?
yeah, and it's like incredible. Like
Oh,
no,
I bet, dude.
I've it's amazing. So I can't imagine how awestruck I would be in Egypt, but that was amazing stuff in South America. Like, it's crazy. But I still kind
You don't
of
think the
affirm
pyramids that were you
I'm
don't
a
think the pyramids were built by people?
They could have been built by people. I think they were built by people. Not to say that it was the Egyptians that built them. I don't necessarily agree with. I think that, like, it makes sense for a civilization to show up on something incredible
Right.
and no one's there to just
Right.
be like, I mean, this is human nature. Like, I own this now, right?
Right.
So, like, your Egyptian culture and you're just starting out and you show up and there's these incredible pyramids. What if there are people living there and you kill the people that are living there, and then, like, because they're weak and they've gone through tragedy, and then you're just like, we own this now. This is my pyramid. And then after generations of kings dying, you know, the king's like, this is, I want to be buried underneath the temple, you know, and you do.
Mm-hmm.
And then hundreds and maybe thousands of years pass, and the people that are like, whoa, what's this temple? Oh, there's this guy buried here. They must have used it to bury him. You know, he must have built this to be buried. That's our idea self-fulfilling itself, and not critically asking questions like, did someone find this? And did they think it was cool and establish a religion around it because they were just struck by how beautiful and incredible it was? And just claim it for themselves and start drawing on it, you know, like they like there's
Like the hieroglyphs?
right, unless they've shown, and like they don't show signs of successfully building another great pyramid of Giza. There's one pyramid of Giza. If you're a civilization that's able to build one pyramid of Giza, like, you should be able to build multiple.
Probably just didn't have the time.
You see the way that some of these these southern Egyptian pyramids were built in, and they're just kind of like not quite the level that they were. There's a clear separation across the world in stone building where there's like shittier built stone things on top of better built stone things. That's a sign of the knowledge of how that stone thing that's perfect was built is completely lost. and so there's a generation of culture that comes in and tries to build and fix that thing.
Well, you
and
can, yeah,
it's like shitty
yeah.
construction techniques, right? The rocks aren't cut the same. They're not built as well. They're not as precise.
Well, I think it just comes down to different time eras. I mean, you can see that in castles. Like,
Yeah.
you can see that in literally, yeah, like in structures in cities.
See,
Castles
here's-
specifically, like, I think it comes down to just different ruling powers, different time eras. I mean,
well, that's that.
it's
I've
I mean, unless there's like, I mean, there'd be no reason to continue building in one form or design if it's not like necessary for the time period, right?
right, which further solidifies that argument that
Like what?
if they couldn't build pyramids, they wouldn't build more because they
Mm.
couldn't build more. So that would mean that they had to have been built in a time period where they were built for a specific purpose.
Right.
That was something that they didn't really understand why they were built.
Right.
Why did they build these big pyramids? We don't know. Let's try to build
Mm.
some. We suck at this. What are they used for? We don't even know why they're here.
Right. Yeah, it is.
You know,
It is
so
strange.
why build more?
And it happened in such like a specific
Area.
time period and such a kind of like distinct and quick
Mm-hmm.
like time that it makes you wonder like what was going on, you know,
That's what I love
like
about it.
what and it seems
questions.
like the the religious aspect was highly involved in terms of like that society and kind of like the gods and
Yeah.
just like I don't even want to say like mythology, like
Mhm.
kind of like, and the astrology behind it all.
Astrological side of it.
Yeah, so it's like completely. It seems like it was just a completely
Different.
like completely differently oriented
Their
society.
priorities were different.
Right.
What they deemed important.
Which is super cool to look at
Uh-huh.
in terms of
That's why people
what we
devote their
can
lives to it.
right, like what we can learn from that, what we
Yeah.
can, you know.
What's interesting is that, like we were saying with old castles and stuff, they do restorations on old castles, but the restorations, they're making it better and they're fixing the problems because we know
Mhm.
how to do
or
it.
expanding them.
Like I was in Chartres, France when I was in high school. The town's name is Chartres, which is
Chartres.
hilarious. It's like you shit your pants if you
Chartres.
sharted. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's spelled Chartes, so it's like Chartres, but
Right.
you say Chartres. Anyway, in their cathedral, I was walking around in their like medieval cathedral that they have in town, which is beautiful. It's basically looks like Notre Dame, but it's like bigger. It's not bigger. It's just like a little smaller and kind of more beautiful. It's like not big pillars in the front that are rectangles. They're like half big pillars that are rectangles, and then they have like little coney points. But anyway, I'm walking around in there. And
What type of castle was it? Was it like a
It's like a
military or like
no, it's a
like
cathedral. It's a medieval
cathedral.
a
okay,
medieval
okay.
cathedral, medieval era cathedral.
Gothic?
Gothic. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
Gothic cathedral, and it's beautiful, stained
Mhm.
glass.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
rosary in the
Gorgeous.
front, like really beautiful stained glass work. But what was crazy too is like you walk around, and you see the restoration
Hmm.
of what they're fixing, and so they'll be like you look up and there's this amazing ceiling that's a crazy type of Gothic architecture like style where the 4 points move up towards the middle, and then there's like these ornate stone like carved pieces that are in the ceiling that kind of come down a little bit, and it's just sort of beautiful. And I remember walking through the hallways around what's called the nave, which is like the middle of a cathedral, and there was one section where they had like just renovated one section of the
Mhm.
block, and the one right next to it was completely original. So it was like
Hmm.
black,
So you could see
rock,
kind of
decaying.
both sides.
You could
yeah.
see how well they did restoring the old thing.
Right.
We've never done, and we cannot do that with the temples of Egypt.
The pyramids.
The pyramids,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
or any type of structure like that. And
Mhm.
it's because of that it happened so long ago, we've lost all knowledge of how they did it or
And the
desire to do
scale.
it. Like we still feel
Right.
the need to perfectly save the building of this cathedral. But in another 500 years, that block that I had just saw needs to be preserved again. And so like we've lost complete knowledge on how to preserve the pyramids and the Sphinx and whatnot. And you know, whatever caused that to happen, I don't know, but I like to recognize the fact that we're capable of doing it if we have a reason to do it and some sort of knowledge on how, because there's proof of that in those cathedrals in France, but there's no sign of it in Egypt. And it's like, I think it's just we've lost the communication of how to do it and why we would do it in the first place. So I don't know if we'll ever get that back.
Well, and I think, the clock is ticking on that shit too. Because, I mean, you look at like climate change and everything, and I'm sure things are affecting those structures, you know, over time, those things are just going to erode away. And it's just, it's going to be, obviously it's going to take an incredible amount of time, and hopefully within that time, I mean, we'll be able to pursue kind of that idea and that kind of that thought of what the hell, like what were these things, like what were they used for and shit.
That brings me back all the full circle back to the whole like knowledge thing and and that recordance of knowledge, like, in my opinion, off world, but like just somewhere with that we're not gonna lose it if catastrophe strikes, because if it does, we're fucked
for sure. And I mean, like, and it goes to show, like, even when you devote entire civilization to constructing a massive symbol of, you know, your gods in a pyramid form, or like the whatever for your pharaoh and for like their final resting place, whatever it may be. Even when you like devote an entire civilization to putting in the work to do that, and not only do one but do several, and then you do all that work, and somehow the knowledge of all that it took to create that and to bring that into the earth is lost. And it begs the question of, like,
well, the people make the thing,
and it just begs the question of, man, like, what can everything we have, can everything that we've built just go away in the blink of an eye?
Yeah, totally.
And it can.
Yeah.
And like, people, you know, lives these days are so fucking nuts, so goddamn busy. People are worrying about shit all the damn time. Like, you never stop to think, like, oh wait, like, what happens if something happens?
Yeah.
Like, if something really, really, really terrible happens, what's gonna happen? And you know, it's.
I just don't want our progression of knowledge to be lost.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't want us to have to start from square one. And, you know, we might be at square one.
Who knows?
We're not, you know, just because we're advanced and we see ourselves as advanced doesn't mean we are. When we saw ourselves as advanced 100 years ago, and like, look how much has come since. You know, no one could have ever guessed. So in 100 years, they're going to be like, damn, those people were way behind. And be like, yeah, well, we thought we were pretty advanced.
Right.
So
it's probably going to be like that in 20 years.
Yeah, when do you start deciding, like, what information is important to save and what, you know, is useful? I mean, we do it within our own minds. Like, it's all memory. Humans, we like to remember. We like to use our memory. But, like, I don't remember what I ate for lunch last week. But I remember how to, you know, cut a 45-degree angle on, like, a piece of wood that needs to be, like, slated into a stairway or something. Like, why do I remember that useful information? Why do I deem that as useful information and remember it? Okay, maybe that's something that needs to be recorded. You know?
Right.
That's where I like... Pottery is one of those things where anyone can learn it. Who teaches you, how it's taught to you makes a huge difference on whether or not it's like your way of doing it is proper and like efficient. And you don't learn pottery unless you do it. And it helps to have someone that knows how to do it physically show you how to do it.
Right. A teacher.
Before the internet and capability of photography, unless someone showed you how to do it, you couldn't learn how to do it.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know what I'm
to be there
saying?
in
That
person.
information had to be passed from somebody
Right.
physically in person. You
Mhm.
could write it down, but a lot of information is going to be lost if it's just a written text. So film is good because I could record me teaching in film,
Right.
and that could have a half-life that, you know, it lives beyond my generation when I die. That could be information and reference that people could watch. But once I teach as many people as I can in my life, I lose who learns from my word afterwards. It's going to not gain as much of it from human to human passed down of knowledge. So that's where it's like, if all humans get fucked, we've got to have some kind of backup plan of passage of knowledge in as many things as we can.
Yeah, it's
And then
tough.
it's better than nothing, because if that's not there, like, people aren't gonna know what to do.
And that might be one of the biggest questions of our era too. Is like, okay, like we realize now we have this new form of technology, this new form of, you know, this internet thing, whatever. We can share things instantaneously, but it's all kind of like in wires. It's in
air.
It's in the air.
Space.
It's in satellites. And yeah, I think that might be one of the biggest questions of our era, is kind of going that next step in terms of like solid. You can't even begin. I feel like you can't even begin to describe of what that new type of data storage will be, because we don't yet know how to get there even, right? But I think that is going to be one of the biggest questions that we'll see get asked in our lifetime, is like, what is the next step of preserving the knowledge that we now have through all of this collaboration of human minds and human energy on the World Wide Web? How do we take all of this, bundle it up in a neat bow, and pin it down?
Just have like a save. You could have like a yearly save of knowledge.
But something that could, be preserved through a cataclysmic Earth destruction event, a total, even maybe like a galaxy fucking explosion event, something that could like
Send
sustain
out little beacons.
Like, but it's like
information barrier is hard too.
Right. It's crazy though when you think about that.
You can only do so much, because if all people do get fucked, you're almost wasted effort. Because unless someone on the other end is going to be able to interpret the knowledge that you've shown, if they can't speak English, if we decide to do it in English, it's just a bunch of letters on it, you know.
It probably just comes down to how far we can get in like innovation and like progress, you know.
Yeah.
Like how far we can actually like get in terms of, I don't know, just what this all means, you know, like
one of the cool things I liked
what it
about
means to be a human.
That movie was like, he was a linguist, but if you noticed, like the most powerful form of language is body language, because you don't need to speak the same language as someone to understand come with me or stop,
right?
You know, like
that was a really cool aspect
of that
movie.
There's body language that you can discuss ideas with other people who can't speak the same physical verbal language as you.
Yeah, body language is very interesting.
Think about like sex too. Like, I'm serious. Like back when, like,
think about sex.
Yeah, like people, like you don't have to speak the same language as somebody to have an intense sexual moments with them. Like it's a language of itself, kind of
like a hookup.
Well, I'm just saying, say you met somebody and you couldn't speak the language that they spoke, but you ended up having sex with them.
Oh, like
it
the
might
body
feel
language
more
interpretation.
Yeah. It might feel as normal as having sex with someone that you have had the ability to speak that language with.
Right.
You I'm saying there's a shared understanding of body language in that.
Well, you kind of see that in the movie.
Right.
Right. I mean, with the what is it, the commander or whatever, like and yeah, one of the women, yeah, they just like were able to communicate, not even
Verbally.
speaking the
It's
same
nonverbal communication through
nonverbal.
body language.
Which yeah, is super interesting because and I think that is like it's like a unique human thing.
Yeah.
It's a unique human trait.
Yeah. Well, birds do it too. A lot
That's
of animals
true.
do
Yeah,
it.
I shouldn't say that. Yeah, that body language is used throughout a lot of species. But
male birds will dance for the female to determine whether or not the female thinks that they're fit to be father. That's body language. That's who's to know how they can even communicate in the first place. But they use body language, so that we all do. I think all things that are living do. Monkeys,
But the way in which I guess like body language is used, species to species, is like very unique. It's like
I think we use
like a set. There's like a
together.
very like set kind of. It's almost like a set kind of program thing in your head that you don't. It's like a subconscious. It's a subconscious thing that you do. You don't realize you're doing.
I have a
and
follow to that.
And like you said birds dance. Obviously humans dance too, but that for humans it requires a specific set and setting, a specific dynamic between two people or a group of people, whether it be a party or whatever. And yeah, it's like with humans, I think body language is like so complex, and like there's so many subtle things that you don't even realize like that's happening, or that it's interesting. It is very fun. It's very interesting.
Yeah, think about like when you're a baby, you for the most part can't speak you're trying to learn English or whatever your first language is for like a year or two. I didn't speak till I was 2. I was kind of a late bloomer to the speaking world. But during that whole time, I mean, you don't remember it, but your parents were like, they would like make actions like dog, bark, bark, bark. You body language is used to help associate meaning from word to thing through a different avenue of like. When you're a baby, you don't even know what talking is. You just are hearing sounds. And if you're just hearing sounds and not having something as a mediator between those sounds, like it can be very confusing. But I think that because when I was being taught French in high school, like our teacher just naturally had to like act out the things she was referring to kind of get the point across of like when I'm saying this sound, and then it's like here's another cue of what it means of what I'm saying, so it's something I think are just so structured and ingrained in our brains because it's what our parents do to us when we're children. So it's like really
it's like the first thing that we kind of pick up on is like
dad,
what
mama,
what the parents show.
What is pointing is saying focus attention on this area,
yeah, it's interesting.
Chicken, the chicken, gawk, 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 chicken.
Right.
Like, oh yeah, they knew chicken taste.
The chicken man.
Chicken man. Yeah, that
was a funny scene.
So I found that like throughout that movie, body language was more and more and more of like the thing that they're like, whoa, they're using it a lot.
You do realize that language.
You have to do it. That's how you communicate with people that you can't communicate with, and how else are you gonna learn how to do it?
Right. I do find it, whenever I'm around other people that are speaking different languages, it's just like you're kind of transported, into a completely different way of walking through life. And it's beautiful because you don't understand what these people are saying. But you get the idea too. Get the idea, and a lot of the times I think other languages just flow so much more than English. They just have so much more of a flow to them, or it's more of a rhythm than English.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's interesting. And then, the body language comes in too, because people that speak other languages use other body language too,
Yeah, but I think body language is more universal. For example, tonight I went to La Rosita, and the people that work there all just speak Spanish, and I think there are a lot of them don't even speak English, straight up. And I was like waiting in line to
Straight
check.
up.
I was waiting in line to check out, and the like guy, he said something, and I don't want to butcher it, but it just was like fast Spanish, and
Yeah,
he like
yeah.
walked over to a counter that had a bunch of shit on it and started like, he like walked by and was like da da, he's like da, and he kind of gestured at the counter, and I was next in line, and I immediately knew what he had said was, I can take you over here, because that's what his body language told me. I'm going to help you check out over here, but I had no idea what he said. Like, I didn't understand the Spanish at all, but I knew he was like, I'm going to take you over here.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay. And so I started giving him my stuff, and he started bagging it up. He told me the total in Spanish, which I don't remember, but I knew to give him my card. I gave him my card. And then he asked me in Spanish, which I didn't know what he asked, but he said to me, would you like me to put your food that I had bought in the back into a bag? And it was because he gestured at my food, and then in that time that he was speaking,
Mm-hmm.
gestured at the bag. So through body language, I knew he was
caught
asking
onto it,
me
yeah.
if I wanted him to put the food in the bag, based on the logic of, hey, I wonder if he would put my food in my bag. So when he says something to me in Spanish, and I don't know what he says, but he uses body language to gesture the meaning of the words he said, I was able to say, like, sí, gracias.
Mm.
And like, he didn't speak English to me at all through that entire experience, and I was able to pick up on what he was saying, and I think that like is through body language, and I was able to pay, leave, he helped me, everything was fine, and I left. And I think I learned how to do that when I was in Florence, because I would go to the grocery store and have to communicate with the ladies checking us out, and like for the first couple months you don't know what they're saying, and they start speaking to you in English a little bit to help you out. But by the end, you start having a little bit of understanding of the cadence and the rhythm and like what they are saying, even if you don't know exactly what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And I think body language like is what does that. Like that's what, when you're put into that situation, gets you through it. So it's good to know it. It's good to know how it's used. It's good to recognize it, not just be so focused on the words.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's very true.
It was really cool.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
cool.
That's a cool little experience. I mean, yeah, those brief moments,
Yeah.
I think.
Where you just
Where
can't
you're-
speak with people.
Right. Those quick interactions. And you kind of go into that like autopilot mode almost.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's just natural almost. You know, it's not like not really that big of a deal
Mm-hmm.
even. But it's when you kind of step back and like I'm sure when you walked out the door, you're like kind of just like, oh shit, like like
You zone into like it,
something
yeah.
cool just happened, you know?
Yeah.
And it is unique too, because you don't, I don't know, living out here in Midwest, you don't really get that experience too often.
Right.
Right.
It's good to find places to put yourself in that awkward situation.
Yeah, it's
like,
cool. I mean, like,
surround yourself with people that understand each other, but
Mhm.
you're the outcast, and you're like, it'll change you. 'Cause
Right.
You just have to like,
go with the flow.
it fucks with your, I think it fucks with people's, like, it fucked with my ego when I was like abroad. It changed
sure,
me in
yeah.
a good, in the
Yeah.
best way. It's so humbling, because it's like, these people don't give a fuck who you are.
Mhm.
They can't even understand you. You're in their world. You got to figure it out. Like, that is something that tells you that, like, you're not as big as you think you are. Doesn't
100%.
fucking matter. Like, you're in this place.
You gotta
you
be
better-
humble.
You got to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, that experience, I think everyone should have. I think so many of us go, like, our daily lives without, like, without checking at least once or twice. So, like, what am I doing here? Who am I?
Mhm.
Self-reflection. Like, how am I presenting myself? How am I treating others around me? Like, you got to ask yourself those questions often, I think, if you don't want to get caught in, like, a dark world.
100%. Yeah.
And those are tough questions to ask, but they're not tough when you get used to it. Like, you
They're
just
scary questions too.
the more you do it, the more you're like, oh, these aren't that bad questions. Like, you can start having a little less of a hard heart on life, and I think that is, like, ultimately the goal.
Yeah. You got to be humble. I mean, remain humble and like
Yeah.
always be checking that ego. I
Mhm.
think like, but yeah, I mean those questions. I mean, fuck. Yeah, I've been thinking about those questions lately too, especially in fucking winter. stuck inside all the time.
Yeah.
You'd be questioning shit. And
Stuck inside with yourself.
for real. I mean, those questions are scary too. And those,
I'm gonna go pee.
but those are real things. I think we can wrap it up.
You just want to wrap it up?
Yeah, we can just wrap it up.
What?
Yeah,
Alright.
yeah.
All right. Well.
I'm hungry. I also gotta go to the bathroom. So.
Oh, dude, I'm
But
still stuffed. I had that.
those tacos, man.
For anybody that lives in Madison, go to La Rosita and get
La
some.
Rosita.
Get
Yeah,
some
it's a good
food.
store.
I like
It's a
the
good store.
tacos, but I mean they have burritos, they have gorditas. What do they have? Tancha.
And
can
it's
get,
all
you can get like skin.
ultra dish, all like homemade shit.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's legit.
yeah, it's
It's not
legit as
like
fuck.
they have a butcher shop.
Watch
And then the
yeah.
rest, they literally just take the food from the butcher shop and make
Mhm.
it into food. They make skin. You can get like pig skin burritos, right? Like you can eat skin as your meat, or you can have tongue burrito. You can eat like tongue burrito or tongue taco,
Damn.
which is strange. I've
Yeah,
never had
that's
these
wild.
things, but like, it just they're like al pastors, fire. Their steak, fire. Their chicken is fire. It's like they make really good food, and even if you want to make
Dude.
their tacos at home, like you can just go get like the taco meat from the butcher shop, or
Pre-made shit.
you
yeah.
know, it's a nice place, but when you get the food there and they make it up, the flavor's incredible, and they give you so much. It's like
Mhm.
I had
Load
two
it up.
I had two tacos. I'm a big guy. I was thinking 3, and I couldn't eat my third taco. I was just like so stuffed. It was just, I mean, fuck, these tacos are bigger than a burrito, I swear. They're
Yeah,
huge.
for anyone that does try them out, I would also make sure you got that toilet paper on deck.
Yeah,
on deck.
that's gonna
You're gonna watch that bathroom, buddy.
the next day probably. Yeah. They got the spices going in that
yeah,
shit for
dude,
sure.
for real. The
Well,
one
they
I-
give you a good habanero hot sauce.
Yeah, dude, man,
and
it'd be
a green
flying
hot
out there.
sauce. Like, no place I'm getting.
can't complain.
Oh, and if you're into like, you go to Woodman, you go to any grocery store in America, you can't. I swear to God, you can't find peppers. Like, you can't find good real peppers.
Right,
But you go there
right.
and they've got like a whole fridge full of like actual peppers that you can spice your food up with.
Fucking
Like,
nuts.
every-
And
you
you
know.
got to go to those places to get that shit.
Yeah,
Right.
and it's
you
like,
got to go.
and when
that's-
you're there, you're not going to be able to speak their language.
and
so
this
it's
is
gonna
like
be
a,
good
a
experience.
Mexican grocery store mixed with like a restaurant as well. So it's kind of like the dual in
Yeah,
one.
it's weird.
It's like a
It's like
one stop go type of
Right.
place.
They
it's
had
like
a place-
it's like a burrito stand, I should say. Like
They had one
taco
in
stand,
Eau
like,
Claire actually.
mixed with
Same kind of thing. It was just part of
Right.
an outlet mall. It's like
Right.
a little Hispanic grocery store, but then
Hispanic, yeah.
you go in the back and there's like a restaurant. Then they
Mhm.
sell just like food that then the chefs can just
Fucking
go
good
grab
idea.
shit off the counter and go make stuff.
right.
And like when I was there tonight, there was like families just like eating there too. Like they have a couple tables and they were just like eating their dinner.
Yeah,
there.
dude.
It's
fucking
good.
nice.
It's pretty.
It's nice.
It's a good place.
It's a good experience.
Yeah, it's good food.
Yeah.
I like Mexican food.
Hell yeah.
This is my favorite.
All right, boss. Well,
But we wrapping it up.
yeah, let's wrap it up.
Paul's
I
hungry.
think that was a good little sesh for the people.
Little space stock.
Hell yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Well, folks, sleep tight.
Don't let the bed bugs bite.
Till next time. Peace.
Dun, dun, dun.